Ever since I was a young kid, I wanted to talk to successful people and entrepreneurs and learn from them. Fast forward to today, I'm fortunate enough to be surrounded by a ton of successful self-made entrepreneurs who are achieving amazing accomplishments. This is a show where I sit down with them, I chat with them about business, all the ups, all the downs. Welcome to the Tom Wang Show. Okay, what is going on, guys? It is Tom here, and today I am super stoked to be interviewing a legend. His name is Jerin, and he is the co-founder of a company called Nude Vodka. Now, by the way, is it Nude or Nude Vodka?
It's Nude Beverages.
Nude Beverages.
Yeah, and I wouldn't go as far as a legend, but I'm pumped to be here.
All right. You'll be a legend after this podcast. But for those who are listening to this internationally, maybe in the States, maybe you're not too familiar with the brand yet. Mm-hmm. But if you live in Vancouver, I can almost guarantee, I'll almost bet my money on the fact that you've definitely seen one of these at a liquor store, at a party, and 99.9% of you probably have drank this before. Okay, so Jerin, welcome to the show, man. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, buddy. Pumped to be here.
Awesome. Beautiful day out. Very, my buddy just came from Minnesota, actually. He just landed like 2 hours ago.
Cool.
And he landed. He's like, dude, this is the most beautiful city in the world. I'm like, yeah, you got really lucky with the weather. Usually it's not like this. But beautiful day in Vancouver here. So thanks for taking the time to actually come in today and speak to me.
Thanks for having me, man.
Really appreciate that.
I got our executive team going to Minnesota in a few days. So now it's good. We'll see what their feedback is when they come back next week.
Yeah, apparently it's supposed to be cold as shit. But Jerin, so I wanted to start this podcast mainly because number one, I want to learn from other entrepreneurs. So this is almost my own little version of MBA. Second is to inspire other people out there who are listening to this, because I think a lot of people look at entrepreneurs, maybe people look at you. They're like, oh, he's got it made ever since he was a young kid and whatever. And you share with me the fact that we both went to UBC, and you're one of the only few people that I know actually got kicked out of UBC. Yeah. So in terms of academic intelligence wise, it's fair to say that, we're probably street smart, but when it comes to like books smart and trying at school, we definitely didn't. So I kind of want to maybe get you to share with the audience a little bit about life before Nude. And you can start off as early as you want and talk to us a little bit about like your childhood, high school, whatever you want. So let's start from there.
Yeah, I was born in Albania, which is in Europe. Was there for 11 years. Immigrated to Canada in late 90s. And was raised in New Westminster, where we have a common friend that I went to high school with. And then from there, high school was mostly a lot of sports, education school, and because we immigrated, didn't have much, and my parents sacrificed everything to build a better future for myself and my brother. I was working at McDonald's, cleaning buildings. Like I was working quite early, and I couldn't afford to play kind of the expensive sports, but I did play, basketball and soccer and track and field, and I got into football later and couldn't really afford the fees with sports. I started selling like chocolates and poinsettias to raise money to be able to participate. So sales has kind of always been kind of ingrained in my DNA, and I love people and I love helping people. I love doing something special. So it was kind of hand in hand. But with Nude, it was actually my business partner, Julius, who came up with ideas, been working on it for a long time. So he's been working on it since the end of 2013, and we teamed up in 2016. So it was all kind of started of being of service, right? Here's an extremely passionate guy, extremely bright, really creative, had a wonderful idea, and I've been food, beverage, hospitality for now 15 years. By the time I met him, just over 10. So I was like, what can I help you with? You've got a dream. It's pretty turnkey for me to put it into action. Like, what do you need? And then he's like, I need some cash.
Okay.
So we started raising money, and then I hit up about 70 investor meetings, lined them up. We did about 15, 20 a week and just hammered it home. Almost everybody. In fact, everybody did say no at the start.
What was the reason? What was the number one common denominator why they wouldn't be interested in investing in Nudes?
They didn't think that there was room in the market for it because there's a little bit of unorthodox, right? And the likelihood of two young guys creating something this big.
How old were you?
In an extremely competitive industry was really low. I was 28.
28. Okay.
Business partner was 25.
Oh wow. So
Yeah.
for the listeners that are not familiar with Nude, when you say it's not traditional, can
For
you explain
sure.
to a little bit about what Nude is? Why is it not
Yeah,
traditional?
so traditionally it fits in the ready-to-drink category, or in the U.S. the fermented malt beverage category. So anything that's in a can. So in Canada, RTDs are traditional coolers, which are high in sugar, high in sweeteners. It's ciders, it's your Mike's Hard, it's your Palm Bays, it's your Smirnoff Ices, you name it. Anything, it's your iced teas. Traditionally, they've been sugary. There hasn't been, until we came out in BC, there hasn't been a brand that was like no sugar, no carbs, no gluten, no sweeteners, no BS, just exactly what you have, right? Like, and the ingredients are stated on it clearly. There's the nutritional facts. So to make it simple, it's a vodka soda in a can, and it was designed because it had to be in the market because it didn't exist. We tried to find it, we couldn't, so we decided to create it, right?
Right. And now I think in the year 2020, that's so obvious. It's like, because now everything's getting shifted to like healthy, no sugar, gluten-free, this free, that free. Like
Totally.
everything is free, right? But back then it wasn't a thing. So I want to kind of backtrack a little bit.
For
like,
sure.
how did your co-founder Julius
Yeah.
actually come up with the idea? Like, what was he thinking at the time?
He's been studying trends for a number of years, and he always wanted to be in the alcohol beverage industry. So he's looking at trends in North America and even in Europe, and this didn't exist. And then he saw the trends with healthier, better for you packaged goods, healthier lifestyles, that being more important. And then he's also gluten intolerant as well too, as a high gluten kind of. And he wanted to create something that he could drink and his friends and family could drink that didn't make him feel shitty at the end of the day.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. So you're pitching investors on this vision.
Yeah.
What were you pitching them with? Was it more of a vision, or was it a deck of like, oh, here's our sales? Like, it went year one. Did you guys even have any sales at that time?
No, we didn't. This is
Pre-revenue.
Yeah.
Okay, so just
pre-launch.
putting the vision.
We had a number of prototypes and samples, and then the deck was studying trends in Canada and North America, outlining the category, having what currently is in the market, and how much room and demand there was for a current product. And when you even look in like bars, restaurants, nightclubs, and so on, majority of the well sales, which is your vodka sodas or your rum and cokes or Ryan Gingers or gin and tonics, predominantly anything that's in the well and that's your bar rail that you have next to you, is vodka-based beverages. So everybody was drinking vodka sodas because it was cleaner, crisp, easy to drink, and it wasn't too sugary.
Right. So did you have any experience pitching investors before that point at all?
No.
You didn't?
No.
So what were some of the lessons you learned through going through, you said 70 investors?
Yeah. Probably we got more than that, probably over 100.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a number, right? One being to ask for help, to listen, to take criticism, and to go back. Like, the biggest thing for Julius and I is like, we didn't want to take no for an answer. It was just no as an inquiry for more information, or every no kind of brought us closer to yes at the end of the day. So just being clear and concise with what we wanted, asking of, if it's got to be value-added investors that can help you grow the brand, but some that have a heart and are passionate about what you do. You know what I mean? And can get behind the product.
Right.
Because there could be a lot of money that's available out there that can come by, but you want smart money at the end of the day.
Right. You didn't want a dumb money. You want someone who's passionate, who can actually provide you value other than here's a check for 100,000.
Yeah, value-added investors is bang on.
So who was that investor? You don't have to say the name, but like, what was his background? Was he someone who's taken this company like this?
Yeah, the very first investor, which is a good friend, I'm super grateful because he kind of turned key. It was a guy named Chris Jackson, and I think he was one of the founders of Q-Trade. And he's got multiple business. He's taken multiple companies public. He has quite a bit of experience in packaged foods or kind of he owns a restaurant and a nightclub, and he's had experience in the food beverage kind of hospitality industry. So that was our first guy, and one of his best friends as well as a very successful businessman was the second. And then I called up a couple friends.
Mm-hmm.
One, a good friend of mine, Jamie Caban, invested $30K over the phone. He was just excited about the brand and what we're doing, and he was like, finally, like I want to be on board with what you're doing, because we used to work together and throw events and marketing and a lot of things back in the day.
So how much money did you guys raise from that round?
First round we raised just shy of $400,000.
Oh wow, $400,000.
Yeah,
okay.
It's enough to get us a couple production runs, procure the product, get up and running, pay for everything, and launch in the market.
Right. Okay.
And then we had some amazing partners that came early on. A good friend and just a mentor as well, Brian Pisbraga, and one of his business partners as well too. They were just phenomenal. They guided us through the process. They had tiered funding rounds that they would get more investment if we proved ourselves and provided case sales and growth and a sustainable track record with a lot of future growth intended and expansion. So that was turnkey when we needed to, because cash flow could be one of your biggest issues. Like whenever we're producing, we ran out the next day or the following days,
Right.
So it's like that is, could be net 45, or by the time you get the cash and get your nice production run and lock up time in the facility and get everything together, you're a couple months out.
Right.
So
yeah, I mean, cash flow is definitely one of the trickier parts when it comes to running a physical product business, especially when you have all the net terms and stuff like that added up. So I want to kind of talk a little bit about how does someone go about creating a beverage like this? Like was Julius like a food scientist that knows like all these chemical things? Like how do you create one of
Julius
these products?
is a beast. He's been researching it for years, and he went to a lot of professionals and food scientists and developers in North America, picked their brain, hired them, contracted them, figured out exactly what he wanted to do. Hired award-winning natural beverage developer, and traditionally developers in this category, like alcoholic beverage developers, want to mask the taste of alcohol, but still give you the benefits. So they want you to get the benefits of alcohol, but not feel like you're drinking alcohol. So they mask it with sugar, aspartame, sorbitol, natural sweeteners and flavors, whatever. So we hired an award-winning natural beverage developer. He's done hundreds and hundreds of natural beverages derived from natural fruit extracts or essences, one of them being watermelon water, which is a massive company in the U.S. So ours ended up being clean, crisp, and smooth, right?
So once you have that formulation, right, this is pretty much the recipe. But now you got to go make it.
Yeah.
So how does that process work?
The process, or at least at the end of the day, you need somebody to produce it on your behalf, or you need to own a facility where you can produce it.
Right.
We're not producers or manufacturers, you know what I mean? We're brand builders, and we have a value-added product that's really high convenience and easy for you to grab and go and consume. So we hired a small brewery out of Kelowna to produce our first few batches.
Okay.
And then you have to register the SKU. You have to get your certificates, like your CFIA or your nutritional, everything. If you're making facts, they got to make sure that they're proven and they're true.
Right, of course.
So once you register, you've got a SKU, which is just an identification code, like a UPC code and so on. And you registered with the government, like the BCLDB, which is the BC Liquor Distribution Branch. Then you can actually ship product from your production facility, and your client, which is the buying, BC Liquor stores, they purchase it and they distribute it to the stores. So once, and Julie said a lot of this done, and then we had to go to larger production facility. But once we registered this SKU, we got 2 local designers to design the product. We're basically up and running. And then we went, hit the road, us two, did our pre-sales, lived on the road, got a lot of orders, and slowly just knocking on doors, getting distribution, getting the shelf space, getting in the right hands. Our motto is simple. We haven't really recreated the wheel. We get cans in hands and liquid to lips, so we get people to try the product and then we make sure the cool people have it.
Right. So it seems, so you guys really got your hands dirty at the very beginning. So
we still get our hands dirty.
Still get your hands dirty. I love that. So I need to get my hands dirty more.
I'm sure you are.
With my Amazon business, like at the very beginning, it just, talking to Chinese suppliers and staying up late and doing all that type of stuff, negotiation, stuff like that. Now it's just, very, very much hands off from that perspective. But sometimes I need to go back in there and brush up on my Mandarin.
What were some of your barriers in your business or growth spurts that you had as an entrepreneur?
Barriers, I mean, I guess it's just the first time importing bulk goods from China.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how do you get that product from a factory to Amazon? How does it go on a boat? Like, what is a UPC code? What is, where do you buy one?
Yeah.
Because, you get really intimidated. I'm not sure about you, but I remember the first time I saw a UPC code, I'm like, this looks really intimidating. I have to put this on my product. Where does that code go? Who scans it? What does it show up? All these different things. But it's a learning curve, right? Once you understand how to do the thing the first time, then down the road, you just, it's something you learned. So,
yeah.
But I want to ask you, how did you get your first, I think you kind of already questioned it, but if you can go a little bit deeper, how did you get your first 100 customers? It seems like you went on the road, you basically got this finished product now. Yeah. You went to who? How did you find them?
Our customers are liquor stores.
Right.
Yeah. So we went to every single liquor store we could.
But you just walk into a liquor store?
Is
there a manager here? Or who do you talk to?
Yeah, the manager. We talked to anybody we could. I worked in alcohol sales and distribution for a number of years for a large Canadian distributor. So I did have quite a bit of contacts.
Got it.
And I knew who to go to in most places. Phoned in, requested a meeting. And then I carved out a little bit of their time in their schedule. I told them about the product, the benefits of it. I told them studies and how it's transitioning to healthier, better for you beverages.
Got it.
And most people our age gravitated to it right away.
So when it comes to liquor stores, there's private liquor stores who I guess one person makes the decision. And then you got your BCLC. What is it? BCLC?
BC liquor stores.
Yeah, big so how does it? So what is the purchasing? How is it different when it comes to placing orders from either or?
For sure.
Yeah. So how does that work?
So there's over 1,000 stores that sell alcohol in BC. There's about 200 government-run controlled stores, which are the BC liquor stores that we've frequented many times. Mm-hmm. There's over 600 private stores, mom and pop stores, some are chains, and there's about 200 rural agency stores. Those are your convenience stores that have food, are probably close to a campsite or in remote locations, but also serve alcohol.
Got it.
So once you get the SKU or your product registered with the BC Liquor Distribution Branch, which is the governing body for alcohol in British Columbia, we technically have one buyer, which is them. So I deal with the purchaser in there.
Got it.
Get POs from them and cut it and then fulfill it, ship it. But there's probably 1,000 people stores that purchase from the BCLDB. So each store has their own license or their business license and their liquor license. And then I can go in and get a purchase from them or a commitment or a letter of intent or whatever it is. So we got pre-orders from them. I want 5 cases. I want 10 cases. Put those together in Excel format, send it to our buyers saying there's a demand for 400, 500 cases. Please cut us a PO. And then we just, built a brand, did a lot of tastings and got them to as many events as possibly can, got them in bars, restaurants, and it's just been truly humbling because so many British Columbians, so many family and friends have come out and supported and helped us bring our brand, build our brand together, right? So it wasn't, one or two guys. This is BC's success story. This is Canada's success story. And we're pretty pumped to offer it to as many people as possible.
Love it. So when it comes to getting your product into liquor stores, one thing. Yeah. Getting end consumers to buy the product is another.
Yeah.
So I know that it's funny because when I was younger, I for a part-time job, I worked for marketing companies where Mike's Hard Lemonade and stuff like that contracted, and we would, drive this ugly ass looking truck to hit up like Center of Gravity and all these festivals and basically do handouts.
Yeah.
And we'll go to liquor stores and do handouts as well.
Guerrilla marketing.
Guerrilla marketing, right?
Yeah.
Is that what you guys did initially? How did you get people to basically go into these liquor stores and be like, oh, I've never seen Nude before. What is this? I'm going to buy it.
Well, when we designed the product, we designed for the in-can branding or marketing. So if you hold a can, you would know that its name's Nude. It's either a vodka soda or a gin and soda or a tequila soda. You know what the flavor is, so it's lightly flavored. You know it's 5%. You know the benefits because they're around the can. They say sugar-free, gluten-free, sweetener-free. And we're the very first white can in the market. So in a very colorful, kind of noisy shelf, the white can ought to stand out.
Mm-hmm.
But I wasn't quite worried about the pull-through. So many drink the product already. Some people think they've been drinking Nude vodka sodas for 5-10 years. We've only been in the market for shy of 3.
Right.
You know what I mean? We've been working on it for 6 years. So it's a household beverage. And even before, I partnered up with Julius, and, best decision we've ever made was to work together.
Mm-hmm.
I had over 5,000 people on my phone. I had a good personal reach. I had a network of 15,000 people I could market it to. So even if I sold a case to them a quarter, like once every 3 months, without any liquor store sales, I'd be doing 60,000 cases, and that would put it in the top 10 brands in BC. So it's like the demand was there. The appetite was actually there 5, 10, 20x when we first started. Just the supply wasn't there. So the demand was there for sure.
So how did you guys overcome the supply issue? I know that you said you got a Kelowna producer, which you probably outgrown very fast.
Very quick, yeah.
Talk to us a little bit about the production side.
For sure, yeah. We partnered up with Central City Brewers and Distillers, which is still our partner to this date in Surrey, British Columbia. They were the largest or second largest brewer in BC, and a majority of brewers, because beer's been on a decline in the last few years. They have idle capacity. So maybe they're at 70% capacity and they have an additional 30%. So we contracted them out. But it's more of aligning in our values and our, where we wanted to go. So it's more like, are you willing to partner up with us? We're going to give you X amount of revenue over the next few years. And then we've added so much business to them, and we have like $5-6 million a year in production alone with them. Like we've injected over $30 million in the BC economy. So but
isn't that such a cool, it's such a fulfilling feeling, isn't it?
It's insane. Yeah, it doesn't.
It's not the Julia's and Jerin show anymore.
Not
it's
at all.
like this actually changes people's lives. Like we are creating jobs, we're injecting money into the community. That money could be spent on whatever the government decides to do. I'm not sure what the fuck they do with the money, but probably not too many.
It's one of the most rewarding things, man. Yeah. Like
that's amazing.
I often say we're not an alcohol beverage brand. We're a lifestyle brand, right? And I think we connect with this, but we want to empower others to live their best self or start their business, become an entrepreneur, take a leap of faith, be their true, authentic self, and go for it, right? If 2 small town guys did it, I'm sure you can do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's just, like one of the most rewarding things till this day for me is when our first hire, our, COO now, Maddie Amizano, the most rewarding thing was that when she got she got some equity in the company. She works like a machine, doesn't sleep, which is not healthy. And but it was so cool. You can change people's lives, right? It's greater than us, right?
Absolutely.
And it's a good offering. I think it's the best offering in Canada in the alcohol category.
I mean, I'll tell you what, so I've been in the physical product space for 3 years roughly now as well. And the best companies that do well, I mean, we have a mutual friend, Tony.
Yeah.
Every single brand that does well have a good offering. Like, you can't sell a shitty product and expect you can make fast money, but no customer is going to come back and buy you again.
Yeah.
But I know with Nude, I mean, not trying to tune your horn here, but it's a great product. Like, 100 calories.
Yeah.
Healthy.
Totally.
Sugar-free.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and then for the nights that you just want to have something in your hands, but you don't want a beer,
Yeah.
because fucking beer belly and everything,
Yeah.
but you still want to like drink a little bit, not get crazy drunk. Like, this is the
Well,
only
something
option.
different for sure.
Yeah. So,
A big part of our brand is
Mhm.
giving back,
mm,
and that's kind of intrinsically in our DNA. So we give a time of our can, time of our, like, it's written on the can itself too that we support adoption and animal rescue organizations. We give a time of our proceeds and our labor as well too. So we've donated over $100,000 to the BC SPCA. We've donated over $20,000 to young women and youth in risk of the downtown east side. All the proceeds from our Advent calendar, which is the world's first sugar-free kind of adult Advent calendar, the boozy calendar, that went to Food Banks BC, and we went in, volunteered, and helped out on the ground as well too. Our Pride Pack, every single part of the proceeds goes to the Canadian Rainbow Refugee Society.
mhm.
And we just want to give back and make our community a better place, right? It's like the time's over when companies were just about the bottom line and making profit, right? It's like a triple bottom line. We have to be environmentally and socially responsible and give back and actually contribute and make it a better place to work and live in.
Right. That's amazing,
Right.
man. And then
Yeah.
with that, you attract the right workers who have the same values, who then basically propels the company forward and grow it tenfold. Yeah, I kind of want to ask you. So you found the manufacturer in Surrey.
Yeah.
Now, actually, let's give. So one thing I've learned about podcasts and YouTube and all these different things is people love numbers. Okay.
Yeah.
People love to know how much money are you making, man? How much money do you have, Jerin? Right.
Yeah.
So can you give us a little bit about the revenue growth from when you first started pitching? So
Yeah.
pre-rev, year 1, year 2, year 3, and
For
then
sure.
maybe this year projection, so on and so forth.
Yeah, I can easily do that.
Yeah.
But before I want to talk a little bit about the liquor store things that you asked. Like,
Right.
as a salesperson job or a distributor is for you to carve out some space and get the product in there and get the distribution, get the shelf spacing. And then with marketing, you're supposed to advertise and get people excited and get the pull-through rate, or events or liquid to lips. So that's kind of like, once you get there, those are the two blended things that have to cohabitate, sales and marketing, with the distribution and logistics and supply chain to support your growth. When we first started, we learned a lot. We learned a lot from our mistakes and our failures. I think year 1 we did 60,000 cases.
60,000 cases.
Yeah.
Each case goes for
It retails about just shy of $60. It's a 24 pack is what we.
60?
$60.
Oh, 60. Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
So what is that? 3.6? Wait,
360,000. The next year we did 400,000 cases, so about 8x or so. But that's the $60 retail is what the liquor stores and government,
Right,
our
it's top line
wholesale-
revenue.
Yeah, that's top line for them, not even for us, because we sell at a very discounted price to the government, and provincial and excise tax, federal tax, and production. Everything is in that original price. So let's say if I made a beer in a 24 pack, I sold it for $15 to the government, and my cost was $11. I made $4 a case. That the $15, that I sell to the government, FOB price, is our revenue. And we make our margins or profit within that. But that same case could be sold for $60 or $70 in retail.
Got it.
So it's triple or quadruple.
Got it. I see.
So last year, last rolling 12 months, we did 1.3 million cases.
Wow. That's
Yeah,
fast
so we've
growth.
sold more cans last year than there are people in Canada, which is huge.
That's amazing. So 1.3 so 1.3 million cases.
Yeah, 9-liter cases. So just about 26 cans would be a 9-liter case. But just to make it easy,
Right.
1.3 million, 24 packs.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah.
How did you overcome the cash flow issue with growing so fast?
We had to sell more of our company to value-added investors.
Was this time a little bit easier to raise money?
Yeah, we had a great team, and we were able to raise money, and there was a lot of people that wanted to invest.
Mm-hmm. So I mean, so it seems like you got a great product.
Yeah.
You knocked on doors. You booked meetings with managers, whoever.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, I want to try you out. By the way, like when you say, hey, I want to try you out, how many cases do they usually buy from you as a little tryout? Is there a industry average or like what?
When we first started, it was a handful of cases.
Okay.
You know, like Julius and I would call each other when we'd be pre-selling, be like, "Oh, I just sold 4 cases." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We had as low as 1, and we had as high as like 20 or 40. Now, when we do launches, like people are ordering pallets at a time.
Wow.
Right.
So
it's the turn and burn. You know, the velocity is the highest velocity of any product in our category in BC.
Wow. Now, when you sell that 1 case, how do you call them a week later and be like, hey, like you sold that 1 case, you want more, or like how does that work?
Well, if they're good operators, they're watching their inventory and they're ordering themselves. But the service has to be there. It's a service-based industry, and at the end of the day, it's like I care about their business. I want them to grow. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want them to succeed. If they succeed, I succeed.
Yeah.
So, you know, we're all really hands-on, and we're a service-based company, and we want to make sure that, you know, the offering is there and consumers are getting what they want, right?
Totally.
And they vote with their wallets.
So when you say, that's actually the next question I was going to ask. You have so many flavors. So we're looking at raspberry, lemon, classic lime, mango, peach.
Yeah.
How do you go about determining what your next flavor is going to be? Do you do market research, or how do you determine that? Do you do focus groups, or what do you do?
It's a little bit of everything.
Okay.
Yeah. We have a phenomenal in-house formulator that's got decades of alcohol beverage experience. We also have original formulator that's based out of the U.S. We do a ton of market research. We do a lot of focus groups, a lot of tastings. You know, we've done dozens of renditions of a flavor before. You know, we use multiple flavor houses. Sometimes it's gut feel. Sometimes it's industry kind of feedback. For example, our top selling flavor in a 6-pack format is our raspberry lemon. We had no idea that raspberry and lemons would go so well together.
Right.
And we created that, and that came out of going into market and asking consumers, but most importantly, this one retailer at the Black Sheep pub, her name is Corey Law. She was phenomenal. She gave us a lot of insight. And then just, you know, like, how's business coming along? What are consumers wanting? What is the flavor that people gravitate? What hasn't been done before? She's like, you got to do a raspberry and lemon. That'd be a phenomenal offering. We formulated, tasted so good. And it's our top selling flavor.
Interesting.
So you can do a lot of industry data. We do a little bit of everything.
How many flavors have you launched since inception?
We have 23 SKUs. We have 9 flavors of the vodka soda, 3 flavors of the gin soda, 3 flavors of the iced tea. That makes it 15. And 2 flavors of the tequila soda. So we're at 17 flavor offerings in 4 different kind of products.
Has there been a flavor that you launched that didn't get too much traction that you had to pull back, and then it basically is discontinued?
We have very well performing kind of products or flavors, and some not as well. But all our products are in the top 10 percentile in BC. So it's like what would be low for us is a really good performance for somebody else. Right. So, you know, our most successful flavor, raspberry lemon. Our least could be grapefruit. Each flavor kind of has a little bit of a different demographic, different palate. Our cucumber mint's more for a healthier kind of female or a slightly older kind of middle-aged adult that has some disposable income, wants a little bit more of a, you know, compelling kind of flavor, and something that's more related to kind of either spa water or healthier, right? I do like the cucumber mint. You throw a little bit of cranberry, it tastes like watermelon. You know what I mean? There's your, you know, our classic lime. That's your no-brainer generic vodka soda lime you get over the bar. that was a must.
Yeah, I'm the
Right?
mango and peach guy,
Are you?
actually. Yeah, I
Sweet,
love
yeah.
mango, peach, one of my favorite fruits.
Yeah,
So
my fiance loves both of those.
yeah,
as a
I'm
top
actually
tiers.
not a big fan of the classic lime,
Okay.
but that's obviously personal
Totally,
taste,
yeah,
stuff
for
like
sure.
that.
Our very first SKU, strawberry kiwi. How
Oh
that?
yeah, what happened with that?
It still
It's
crushes
right?
it. It does
Yeah,
100,000
it's
cases.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That's a great flavor.
Yeah, but it's kind of fallen off because we do so many other new SKUs, and but that there was no other strawberry kiwi in the market. That flavor combo didn't quite exist, and strawberry at the time in like the mid 2010s, like 2015, 2014, 2016, was the number one kind of fruit or flavor in the U.S.
How long does it take for the guy to formulate one of these flavors?
It depends who you have as your formulator.
Right.
Could be as fast as a couple days or a week,
Oh, wow.
depending on what they have on their lab or bench top, and they can hammer it out. It could be months, but because we're young, we're small, we're on such rapid growth, but it's like our big advantage is being nimble and being innovative and being quick. Some of the larger companies, it might take them a year and a half for their innovation. They have to go throw many loopholes and corporate structures and get approvals and lawyers on board. We're pretty quick. We can launch a SKU within a few months.
Wow,
You know what I mean?
That's amazing.
Yeah.
What
We have a phenomenal team, and I'm super grateful. Our
how big is your
staff
team right now?
We're just shy of 20 people. There's about 14 in Canada and 5 in the U.S.
Okay.
We're super pumped to be launching our hard seltzer. It's our malt-based product in the U.S.
Okay.
We launched in the state of Washington with a phenomenal partner out there in Bellingham, Sound Beverages, and we've went from 0 to within 2 months being the number 3 selling seltzer in the most competitive landscape for low-calorie offerings in the world. You know what I mean? So it's super exciting to, we're potentially looking at 12 to 16 states, and we have just a super talented team in the U.S.
So in the States, in terms of regulatory wise, because I think I heard a couple words earlier. You said something about malt.
Yeah,
whereas
malt,
here,
yeah.
So what's up with that? What's
for sure. To simplify it, Canada, vodka soda, U.S., hard seltzer.
Hard seltzer.
Okay. That's because taxation and prohibition laws, and also due to distribution. Canada is a 2-tier system. The U.S. is a 3-tier system. With beer distributors, you get favorable taxation if you're going through the beer distribution or your malt-based product. If you're a spirit-based product, it's highly regulated and even more taxed. So, for example, if we did a vodka soda in the U.S., a 4-pack might be about $18, $20. But our hard seltzer would be $8 for a 6-pack. So for $20, you can be getting a 15-pack or hard seltzer.
Interesting.
So just because of the taxations and the structure it follows in the distribution channel.
Interesting.
Yeah,
So
it's a very complicated. Yeah. We've been a year and a half into, and we just launched recently.
Is it still going to be called Nude or
Yeah.
different
So
brand?
right here.
Oh, that's it. Okay.
Nude hard seltzer.
Got it. So same thing, just literally the word is a little bit different.
Yeah, but it's derived out of a malt product where we're a triple distilled corn-based vodka. So it's got a little bit of a different flavor profile, but it's very similar because we believe we have the best tasting malt in the world, and we have very great formulation, and our ingredients are all natural fruit extracts and essences. We're going to be one of the few hard seltzers that has no sugar or carbs. Because some of these companies that are current, beer guys, they're making their own malt, and it's a little winey or malty or fermenty taste. So it's not super clean. So they have to mask it with, cane sugar or other things to make it palatable.
Got it.
But it's super exciting.
So that's the plan for you. It's basically, so you establish a very, very strong base in BC.
Yep.
Which we mentioned, BC stands for British Columbia, guys, if you're listening to this from the States. But so have you guys expanded outside of BC in Canada? You guys in Ontario and all these different
we're
things?
going to be the first low-calorie beverage to be available countrywide. Another, growth spurt that we had is in late 28, we signed a contract with Southern Glazers Wine and Spirits, which is a large distributor in Canada, the largest distributor in North America. They've been a great partner of ours, and we're using their sales force, which is probably 132 people across Canada, to knock on doors and get the distribution, educate people on the product, get trial, get managers to try it, so on and so forth. But the brand, like, I've never seen so much adoption and recognition and high brand equity that we have with Nude. Like, we got people that got tattoos of Nude. We had over 400 people dress up as Nude for Halloween. We have people that get into truck decals with Nude. People are making cakes. It's in wedding photos and wedding celebrations. Like, it's beyond. It's got a life of its own.
Yeah.
You know, it's a status symbol on the West Coast and growing. Like, people have been starving for Nude out in Ontario. We're finally in the LCBO this year.
Right. How did the name come about, by the way?
That was Julius. He's just a brilliant man.
Okay.
Yeah, he's been sitting on it for a while, and as soon as the trademark was down in the U.S., he snatched both Canada and the U.S. Once we figured out we got the U.S., we went and changed everything, and then went as Nude Beverages.
Got it. So,
and it was the perfect fitting name, right? Because it's naked of sugar,
exactly,
naked of all this shit.
But
right?
but the thing is, it's got the little edgy to it. You know
what I mean?
It's got
the little edge.
It's not too clean. It's like, oh, drink this. Like, this is 100% pure. It's like nude. It's got the little edginess to it, which I think really, really helps with the brand. Talk to us a little bit about your setbacks and failures throughout this journey. I'm sure it wasn't all sunshine and rainbow. If anything, far from that. Or maybe it was. I don't know.
No, man. We've every single person got it wrong, including Julius and I. We got so many no's. We had to build. The good thing about BC for launching a brand, like Alberta, is our second biggest market, just shy of 200,000 cases. That's a free market. You know what I mean? You just knock on doors and get it in there. BC is a dual. It's got the government-controlled side, and it's also got the private side. We built the brand on the private side. We had such a good offering, and we made a case. We applied to be listed with the government stores, which could automatically make your brand, because you got 200 stores, new distribution, you know, very great locations, phenomenal brand, and we got denied. So this is our biggest client and our buyer saying, no, we're not going to put you in the shelf for 2018. And we're like, oh fuck. So we went back to drawing board.
What was the reason? There's just no. Like,
it's just they didn't believe in it. They're probably slightly hesitant about the can. They didn't know that two young guys could do some of this. This magical at the end of the day of what happened. There was also a competitor that had decades of experience that came out a few months after us in a very similar looking product. I could be one of them. Yeah.
They just got bought out, didn't they?
They did, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they got bought out by Anheuser-Busch or Labatt, which is the largest brewer in the world. And it's phenomenal to see that, a BC registered company, it did so well. They got bought out from the big guys, and it's just a great story, and it brings a lot more attention and awareness to this space, and BC kind of leads the way for Canada for innovation in these product offerings.
So I'm sure you got some knocks on the door or some email addresses and made out to you and see if there's if someone wants to buy you. Is that part of the plan? Is that or can you speak too much about that or no?
Yeah, no comment. Or if we got approached by some some people, but our dream and our goal is to get our offerings and make the best possible beverages and get them available to as many people as possible. So we want to be number one in Canada, number one in North America, and make it a global brand. If down the road there's a fantastic kind of strategic partner that is aligned with us and wants to grow and make it a global brand, we'll entertain it. But we're young, we're passionate, we're hungry, we love what we do. You know what I mean? It never feels like we're going to work.
Yeah,
we're going to hang out with our family at the office and do something special and make this world a better place. You know what I mean? It's like.
So what does a day in the life of Jerin looks like right now? Because you said you're traveling a lot right now, going to Minnesota, LA, all these places. It's just a lot of traveling, a lot of meetings to get your product into the States. That's one of the main focus right now?
There's a lot of that, yeah. Like I moved to Toronto in middle of October to launch our brand there. So we went and launched in the LCBO. We went tasted over 100 stores, 500 employees, educated people on the brand, worked side by side with our distributors. And in the meanwhile, I probably put about 20,000 kilometers in the car in 2 months. Went to 7 provinces to pitch liquor boards and partners. And went to about 6 states with distributors and, set up, our structure and our footprint to expand and to service people because it takes time. So no day is the same. If I'm in BC, I'm doing early morning conference calls in the morning for the East Coast, and then meetings, a lot of, a little bit of management, quite a bit. Actually, we've expanded our team. We've got some phenomenal people on board. It's divide and conquer. It's, where I can give and grow the most. But our vision is to keep growing aggressively.
What was that one thing that you look back? Now, I truly believe everything is a lesson learned. So everything is a blessing. Because without those failures, it wouldn't make you into the person you are today. But looking back, what was that one thing that you feel like that you might have like messed up really badly on? What was like one thing that if you can go back in time, you would change for sure?
It's a great question. If I had to go back in time, if we had to go back in time, we would have chosen a greater producer, the one that we currently have now, that'd be able to sustain our growth and not be sold out for so long. And we would have expanded across Canada a little bit sooner, and then got into the LCBO, which is the largest single buyer, which is the Liquor Control Board of Ontario. So it's the liquor stores that are in Ontario, where majority of the population of Canada resides in Ontario and Quebec. So having the right partners from the get-go, being able to grow and scale accordingly.
Because it must have been scary for you to scale. You must have had the conversation where it's like, hey, we want to be in Ontario. Yeah. But the thing is, we're running out of stock in BC. How can we
can't
do
produce
both?
enough for BC. Yeah, totally. But if we'll be able to have production, supply chain, and have the right people on our team and have the right funds and resources to grow. But everything happens for a reason. We've learned, become bigger and better for it. And we've grown from it, right? So now we're better partners, better service providers. Going back to a previous question, here are some of the pitfalls. The biggest one is not getting that listing in the BC liquor stores. But, we went back to the drawing board. We even asked my old boss at the time, a guy named Dave McIntosh, who we recently hired as our VP of business development. But we crafted, we spent days on crafting this email. My business partner and CEO Julius camped outside of the LDB waiting for a meeting. We got a meeting a few days later. We educated them on our product and the benefits, and we basically begged to have a fair opportunity to have our product in there.
Right.
They gave us a shot, and we're their biggest partner, and we're the number one selling SKU. They have the highest turnover, so of our product, the sales velocity is high, and they've been a huge partner in making our dream come true and putting BC and Canada in the map for these beverages.
A few more questions, and they'll probably wrap it up.
Sure, man.
But, in terms of competitors, I'm talking about direct competitors like Neutral, who, in my opinion, kind of just ripped off your branding. White, black letters, it's like, and Neutral, Nude, it
could have been something that both parties work separately at the same time.
Right. How do they impact your business? Do they bring more attention to the landscape?
I love competition, and I'm grateful for Neutral.
You're a sports guy, right?
Done. Yeah, bring it. Let's go. Bring more competitors. Let's build it together.
Right.
For sure. Different styles of businesses within our companies. A great company, but it forced us to be better. I remember specifically there was a time where in 1 month they outsold us, and I was livid. And I just went on the road for 18 hours a day. You know what I mean? I did exactly what I could. If a liquor store opened at like 9, I'd be out on the road at 7, driving 2 hours away, doing 20, 25 stores. I had a list of stores, like 60 stores on my dashboard, and I would just call them on Bluetooth. Hey, do you have our product in yet? Or do you, I was just a regular customer, like, cold calling the stores, getting the brand out there, and just, making it happen. So competition's great. And the thing is, there's about 18 to 30 months or 24 months, 26 months. There's like at the end of 1 year or 2 year period where, you're an innovator, you're first to market, you're taking the risk and you're building it, but somebody with a lot more money, a lot more experience will come in with a similar offering. There's 24 vodka sodas in BC. You know what I mean? We outperform majority of 23 of them combined, still don't do our numbers. But we've grown the category massively.
Right.
Like I love numbers. When you look at the ready-to-drink category for Canada in 2016, it was about 17 million cases, right? Fast forward to 2019, we're at 25 million cases. It's grown massively. BC's grown 1 million cases over year. And majority of that has been because of Nude and similar offerings, right?
What are your thoughts regarding, so I know a guy who went to this conference and they were talking about generation, it's not
X?
millennials, X, right?
Yeah.
Is it X?
Yeah, or Z or what?
Yeah, one of those younger people. And they say they don't like to drink as much anymore.
Yeah.
They like to do drugs instead. But they also like non-alcoholic beverages.
For sure.
So what are your thoughts regarding non-alcoholic beverages?
I love non-alcoholic beverages.
Okay.
Yeah, so when you look at global trends, consumption's down. Right? When you look at the largest brewer in the world, Anheuser-Busch, their 500 million cases down last year, but their revenue's up $2 billion. So how's that happening? They're having premium, and premiumization is a product, higher price point, getting people to buy up or trade up, and then making more money. Or they're having efficiencies in certain things. But consumers want to unwind differently. This is a great reason why Nude is such a great offering, because it's low ABV. You don't have to get a bottle, mix cups, ice, and so on and so forth. It's a consistent product. It's at 5%, and it's an easy drinking product. But younger generations are not consuming as much.
Right.
That's true, right? It's hard how to bring them back to the space. The pie is only so big. You can grow it, you can bring new consumers, you can get them to trade up. But they're unwinding differently, where it can be with other beverages, CBD, whether it be weed or whatever it is. And the fastest growing category in North America right now, it's the hard seltzer, like F&B category. A subcategory that's growing rapidly as well as non-alcoholic beverages. Better for you beverages, they call it Beyond Beer, non-alcoholic beer, kombucha, sodas, you name it.
Right.
Craft sodas. So, I love that space. It's just super exciting to me. Wish we had more time and resources.
Yeah. I mean, is that something you guys might tap into maybe down the road? Maybe?
We're going to stick to our strengths and do
Right.
what we're good at. What happens down the road, I'm not quite sure. But yeah, we're going to stick with what we do.
Sweet, man.
Yeah.
Well, Jerin, it's been a pleasure to have you on. Before I end the podcast, I just want to ask, is there anything that you wanted to say to the audience that maybe I didn't ask? Is there anything that you wanted to say that you didn't get a chance to?
Yeah, there's stay true to you and go after your dreams. Don't take no for an answer. There's a lot of anxiety that comes with doing something different or something new. You just got to do it. Take the step. You know what I mean? It gets easier as you go. And the hardest part is taking that step. It's like the hardest part is going to the gym. Once you're there, you work out. So ask for help. And, you're not alone. There's a lot of resources out there. And, keep trying different things. It might not be your first venture that hits or second or third, but your fourth might. And, a big turning point for me in my life was when I dedicated to be the best version of myself, as well as be a service. So, that change internally, kind of not I, more of we, was huge. And, do what your heart says, what you're passionate, what you love. That's cheeky as that sounds, but you do what you love. I love working with people. I love building businesses. I love helping people out. I'm a social guy. So It's never felt like work.
Yeah, yeah.
I look forward to getting up early in the morning.
Yeah, that's
You know what I mean?
That's amazing, man. That's the dream. One more question before I end the podcast. You talked about there was a big turning point where you decided to be the best version of yourself. What was that event, or was it something that was built up over time?
Yeah, I was kind of fed up, with how life was. Sick and tired of not doing something special, not being the best version of myself, letting myself down. You know what I mean? We've got a lot of gifts. Everyone's unique and special in one way, and the worst thing you can do is not take any action, in my opinion, right? So just decided dedicated to be the best version of myself, get healthy, and start working towards something.
Got it. Sweet, man. Well, Jerin, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you on the show. It's
been an honor, man.
I'm looking forward to many more flavors of Nude, and it's just been exciting because I've had a few people that I wanted to be on the show, that I wanted to come on the show. Nude was one of them.
That's cool.
And just because every single dude, every party, man, every gathering you go to, like, it's just like
nudes on nudes.
Yeah, it's just nudes on nudes.
# send nudes, man.
Whatever it is, right? Like, it's always gonna be there, and it's just incredible what you guys have done in such a short period. It's 3 years.
Yeah.
Probably felt like yesterday when you were just knocking on doors. I mean, you still are, but
super excited to see the cans, though, man. It doesn't get old. Somebody drinking.
Yeah.
The product.
Yeah, that's amazing, man. Well, Jerin, thank you very much.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man.
I really appreciate you taking the time out of your busy day. I know you're traveling. You guys are launching in the States, so I personally appreciate the fact that you took the time out of your day to be on the show.
For sure.
And guys, and maybe if anybody wants to follow you, do you have social media?
At Nude Beverages on IG, nudebeverages.com. You can find us on Facebook, on Twitter. So yeah, Nude Beverages.
Awesome, guys. Go pick yourself up a case or 2 or 5 from your closest liquor store. Use my name to save 20% off.
Yeah,
no, I'm just kidding. It's
support
not
local, right?
It's not yeah, exactly.
Support your local guys.
All right, guys. Well, thank you all very much for listening to the end of this podcast. And if you can do me a quick favor, go leave a review on this podcast on the iTunes Store or Spotify. Follow me on Instagram. It's at tom.com.ig. Check my YouTube channel out. Just type in my name. Lots of great content coming up for you guys. But that is the end of this episode. Thank you all listening till the very, very end. And I will see you guys on the very next episode.